But stick around because you've got to hear from our local filmmakers, our friends, Steve Bognar and Julia Reichert. I hope we can call you friends.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It is wonderful to have you here. These two, if you've not had an opportunity to see it, put together a short film called The Last Truck, and about our neighbor, really, our neighbor, the Moraine Assembly Plant, and the last day, the last truck, and how those workers have coped at that time. And now our question today is, how are they coping now? And we know as reporters, we get involved in our stories too, but you have to be extremely involved in the lives of the folks you spotlighted, especially people like Kim and Kate and, oh my gosh, Popeye, my gosh. Tell us a little about what contact you have with them now.
Well, we see them a lot and talk to them on the phone a lot. I would say there's a sort of range of resilience. Some people, Katie's a great example, are back in school. She's at Sinclair. She enjoys it. She's doing well. I think she's still on the dean's list. People like Kim, who's been out there looking for a job, applying for job after job. Kim Clay is a skilled electrician, and he's had a job. He finally found a job at I think something like $8 an hour as a nighttime cleanup guy, and he's been upgrading his skills as an electrician and really working, but very hard. Those skilled jobs that a lot of these guys had, like Popeye, who was a tool maker, that was big in Dayton, those kinds of skilled jobs. And
we're a hard-hit town right now. I mean, we all know that. And for every job opening, there's hundreds of applicants. So we're going to have to weather this storm. And you know, some people are harder hit than others, to be honest.
But you'd be surprised how many people are really moving forward. Like there's a guy in the film who talks about he doesn't know how to use a computer at all, named Kevin. And he's never worked on a computer, and now he has an email address. You can write him. He uses the computer at his local library.
He's taking math classes at Sinclair.
He's taking math classes. I mean, this is a guy who just felt like his life was going to be over. What am I going to do?
And he did it. And he's doing it. And he's doing it. And that's where we salute these workers. Now, we're showing some clips now. HBO worked with you on this HBO documentary. Tell us about the reaction, please, that you've received. And I understand it's worldwide, right?
Well, one surprising thing, I think it surprised HBO, is they said that ratings for this short documentary were surprisingly high. Now, that may be a sign that the story of what's happening here in Dayton strikes a chord across the country. That's not a good thing, because that means that more people are struggling. But I feel like the people from the plant took a chance with us and were so honest and so emotionally ready to be open, and that's what makes the film. If they hadn't taken that leap, there would be no movie.
Yeah. And it is true. I think the story of Dayton, Ohio, and what's happened to us here is getting out nationally and internationally. Since the film's been on, it's been shown in Colorado, New Hampshire, they're in Michigan. It's one of the workers, actually, Popeye, is going to Maine this week. He's invited to go there and speak with the film by a workers group up there. So really, and a lot of the use, there's been a lot of use of the film since it came out, that you would be surprised. Classes, nonprofit groups, worker groups, unemployed groups are using the film.
Well, that's great. And the discussion continues, obviously, as to, you know, the aftermath, if you will, and the automotive industry in the future. We're about out of time, but it would be, I would be a failure up here if I didn't mention that you two, your film, The Last Truck, a member of a finalist list, okay, for a nomination for an Oscar. You're going to find out in February if you're truly nominated. And regardless, you have to know how proud we are that you are representing our area. And your film is getting out worldwide, and we're so grateful for that. And tonight, I got to put a plug in, because two of the people you mentioned, we really spotlight tonight in a special report. Where are they now? You know, members of that assembly line. So, boy.
Well, it's really bittersweet. We wish we never had to make this film.
I understand that. I understand that. But you're good people. You're staying in touch. You're encouraging them, and we hope to encourage others, too. Thank you both.
Thanks.